Hi, welcome to this week's edition of On Tap, presented by FCSI The Americas. I'm Wade Kaler, Executive Director. On Tap this week, I get to speak with a consultant who's shown leadership in committees, served as a chapter leader, and rose up the ladder of his company incredibly quick. Please welcome Principal and Project Manager of JLR Design Group, Mr. Garrett Lennon. Hey, Garrett, welcome to the show.
Hey, Wade, how you doing? Great to be here. I'm
doing great, man. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been looking forward to this for a while, and we don't get to talk very often, time zones and stuff, but you've been such a great help to FCSI over the years and a great leader to us. And, I know that we've got many, many more years ahead of us too. But I just want to, again, thank you for joining us and being a guest on the show this season.
Oh, yeah, no problem. No, it's a great organization. I've had an awesome time, just being part of FCSI, getting to know everybody, the camaraderie. It's really, I don't know, it's one of the driving forces behind me wanting to, remain a consultant and keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, I can't really think of a better endorsement right there. So
I'm not sucking up too much, hopefully.
That's the end of the show. Thanks. just kidding. So, for these calls or for these podcasts, what we're doing is just kind of getting to know the consultant members a little bit better, both personally and professionally. And so I'm going to start with a very basic question, like an interview type situation for a job. And, just tell me a little about yourself. How did you get started in the food service industry and get started as a food service consultant?
Well, in the industry, probably start out like most or a lot of people. I started washing dishes when I was 14 years old, I think. And, just being back there, slopping through all the dirty dishes, come back and, eventually, after they saw that I could actually get some plates pretty clean, they gave me the all-important duty of breading cheese sticks. And that was only about a year into the operation. So, it was that first dip into the egg wash that I think I knew that I wanted to remain in the hospitality industry for probably the rest of my days. So started doing that, started working the line, started cooking, and eventually realized that I really enjoyed that through high school and want to continue it. So I went to culinary school. From culinary school, went and worked at probably about, over the course of, I would say, a decade or so, various fine dining restaurants, worked in New Orleans, worked in Seattle, worked in Oklahoma City, where I was primarily born and raised. Mm-hmm. And actually, it was up here in Seattle. I came up here to open a restaurant. And that didn't quite come to fruition. So after some thinking and some advice that I got from a family member, he told me to get into sales. And I said, no way will I ever do that in my life. It's not what I would want to do or something that I could even consider doing. And he kept pressing. So eventually I said, all right, give it a shot. Why not? Got a job at a dealer and started selling equipment. Started working contract jobs and started doing some design for some of my clients that had asked me about it. They kind of knew about my operations background. Mm-hmm. And through that, I learned about consulting, doing bid jobs.
Sure.
I really just kind of saw the level of detail that bid jobs, you got to sort of get into the whole process, not only from just the dealer side, but you got to see sort of how it evolved from, really just having the initial conversation with a client, telling you what they want to do, all the way through, the final product. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a little bit more developed, that design process, than what I was typically used to at a dealer. Not knocking what that process was I was going through. I really loved it, but that really intrigued me. So anyways, started talking to a couple of different consultants, a couple that are currently in FCSI, and asking them about the process, how, they got started. And really that kind of just led me to working with JLR. I got an opportunity, went to work with Dion and Les there, two of the founding partners, and the rest is history. I am now full owner of JLR as of July of this year. So
nice.
So just looking forward to continue to grow the business, working on some more, interesting, fantastic projects, keeping the clients that we do have. Got an awesome, group of people to get to work with. And that's kind of where it's at now.
Well, congratulations on the ownership. I don't think I even knew about that one. So it's great to hear. So
thank you.
Now that you're the owner, you really get to choose what projects you get to work on. So what kind of projects do you do everything? Do you focus in on certain segments of the industry, or are there some that maybe you do more of than others? So what segments do you kind of specialize in?
Over the last, I would say 10 years, we have really focused on K-12 education. And I would say that's probably the bulk of what we do. I know that's kind of a lot of consultants, at least the ones that I talk to in industry. That's kind of a mainstay of their business and segment. But with that said, over the years we've gotten to do everything from a coffee kiosk. We did quite a few museums there for a while across the country. In the last 5 years, I'd say we've been doing quite a few central kitchens, and we had a pass on our firm of doing flight kitchens for United Airlines, Delta, and we've also done a lot of hotel jobs. That's kind of where JLR was the genesis of. They started off with the Westin Hotel Group, designing hotels around the world, and so that's always kind of been where the company has come from. And through the years, we've kind of got to do a little mix of everything.
Nice.
Higher ed, gotten to do some B&I. And, as far as like those, we, I guess, kind of run the gambit as far as sales. And we've been really, really fortunate and blessed in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So doing all these projects for these number of years, is there one that stands out, that either your favorite or maybe one that was the most challenging? Or tell me a little bit about what that project was and what you learned from it.
Well, if you ask my clients, their project is my favorite project.
Of course. That's a very politically correct answer. I agree.
I figure it's apropos for these times. So no, I would say that, as far as favorites, there was a project that we did down in Oregon. It was actually Tillamook Cheese Company, and we did a new visitor center. It was a mixture of grocery. It was a mixture of a museum aspect. It had sort of food hall feel to it. They were doing sort of an elevated menu from what they had done in the past. And really, the design portion of it was really intricate, just vastly different from what they had at their old visitor center. And I think I'm proud to say that I'm pretty sure it's the largest ice cream stand on the West Coast.
Wow. Now you're making me have to come to Oregon.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a really interesting project. It had a lot of different elements to it. And I think that, as far as favorites, I really enjoy those types of projects where, you get a little mix of everything, and those come along every once in a while.
Yeah.
But that's kind of just one of many putting me on the spot, I'd say.
Okay. That's fair. Like I said, a giant ice cream stand. You don't have to actually sell me twice. I'll be there. What is something that most people, when they meet you or initially meet you, I guess, what is something that most people would never guess about you? What's a hobby, an interest, a habit, something like that when they meet Garrett, they would be like, no way, that can't be you.
I used to be a pretty active into sailing. That was something different about me. All right. Yeah. I did that for a number of years with a buddy of mine who's in the industry, and, got to sail all around the Puget Sound and kind of learned, just how to sail a boat. Yeah. And I think that was probably one of the cooler things I got to do in my life. Well,
as somebody that's grown up in the Midwest, I can tell you I know nothing about sailing. It's really hard to sail across a cornfield unless you're in a car that's going through it. So hopefully that's not the case.
One day.
Yeah, exactly. What's one piece of advice you would give to anyone thinking of becoming a food service consultant in today's world?
Run. No, just kidding. I would say that if you're thinking about doing it, for me, this is kind of a perfect career path. If you were to ask me, before I even started cooking, honestly, because I always had interest in architecture when I was a kid. Okay. And I didn't even realize actually it was something that could be done as a job. I used to work in these kitchens, and I'd probably complain about like, who did this? Who set this up? And not even knowing that it was a profession. So when I found out about it, it kind of just clicked, and I just, passionately pursued it, and obviously here I am. I would say, like going back to like my comments I just made, though, having experience in operations, I think is something that really helped me out as far as like what I do today on a daily basis. And, you know, I don't think everybody's gone that path. Some have gone the architecture path. And I think that's actually a very good one too, to have that design background. But for me, the operations background has really helped. And I would encourage anybody, even if it's a part-time thing or just like know somebody in the industry and you're willing to put some time in, you know, just for free in their restaurant, go work at a restaurant, a coffee kiosk, really anywhere. I think it's going to be valuable for, you know, having an understanding of how a kitchen works.
Sure. Has there been anybody along your career path so far that's been a great influence or somebody that's really made a big impact in your life?
Not particularly related to consulting. Somebody that really had a big impact, you know, on me whenever I first read his book was Anthony Bourdain.
Okay.
And, you know, I think a lot of people could probably say that, but it was at a time in my life when I was thinking about maybe making a career change. I read Kitchen Confidential, and, you know, it's a lot to that book. It's an awesome book.
It's very deep.
You know,
I agree.
It's very deep. Yeah, exactly. But, you know, it kind of, the element that I really liked about it was the camaraderie in a kitchen. And it's something that sort of, you know, reignited sort of a lot of, you know, what I love about the industry and about cooking in general, and kind of kept me in the industry. So I would say that that's kind of one thing that had a big impact on me.
Very good. Very good. Well, hey, that's all the formal questions I've got for the interview, but I'll tell you what, I like to end all of these episodes with something a little lighthearted, a little more fun. So I've got a series of questions of kind of from the Would You Rather series, and I'm going to go down these for you and just tell me, you know, as we go down through the list, which one's your favorite. So to start off with, tell me, would you rather be covered in snakes or bees?
I feel like I'm going to go bees on that one.
Okay.
It's like snakes. Yeah. No.
Would you rather be able to sing or be able to dance?
I could probably rather be able to sing.
Okay. Would you rather own a restaurant or own a dollar store?
What about a dollar restaurant?
Ooh.
There you go. No, I would say I'd want to own a restaurant.
Those margins will be very, very thin on that dollar restaurant. Would you rather give up TV for a year or give up the internet for a year?
Oh, TV.
Okay. Be able to teleport anywhere in the world or be able to read minds?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't really care what people think about me so much, so I say teleport.
Okay. I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Would you rather have all the traffic lights you approach turn green, or would you rather never have to stand in line again?
I would still go with traffic.
Traffic.
I'm sorry, with the lights turning green, because, I mean, it's always bad. Traffic's
exactly. In Seattle, it's notorious. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Would you rather see your future or fix your past?
Ooh. I'm going to go future on that one.
Okay. Would you rather only be able to use a fork and no spoon, or to be able to use a spoon and no fork for the rest of your life?
I'm going to go spoon on that one. Spoon is way more multifaceted.
Would you rather be an unknown superhero or a famous villain?
Just go famous villain on that one.
Nice. Last one for you. Would you rather fight a duck the size of a horse, or would you rather fight 100 horses the size of a duck?
Dude, ducks are mean. I'm going to go with horses.
Okay, perfect. So, Garrett, help us out. How can people find out more about you if they want to get in touch with you?
Well, you can go to our website at jlrdesigngroup.com. That's probably the best way to get a hold of us.
Okay.
You can always find our contact information there. You can see the projects that we've done. Probably need some updating, so look for that soon. I think that's probably the best way to find out more about our company.
Perfect. Well, Garrett, thank you again for joining me today. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and we'll hopefully be seeing you again soon when we get back to live events.
Yes, very much looking forward to it. Thanks for the chat today. It's been fun.
Absolutely.
Again.
Thank you. Well, that wraps up this edition of On Tap, presented by FCSI. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to follow or subscribe to the channel, and join us next week when we welcome another FCSI member to the show. Until then, cheers.